If there's one thing made clear from last night's election results, it's that whatever Rishi Sunak is doing right now isn't really working. Few will argue that the Prime Minister is a bad MP, or a bad bloke, really, but can he unite the left and the right of his party? How does he do that? Or, really, in order to get mass appeal, let's be honest, does he need to veer to the right or become more of a centrist? Well, I'm joined now by the Conservative MP for Bournemouth East, is Tobias Ellwood, and Conservative life peer in the House of Lords, Baroness Catherine Meyer. Both of you, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Catherine, I'll start with you. In your mind, should Sunak go more to the left or the right, do you think?
For me, the question doesn't even poses itself. Obviously, he needs to go to the right, because Keir Starmer has tried to move to the right, except we don't know if he really believes that. And in the meantime, we've seen what Reform has been able to do, and they've been capturing a lot of our votes. And I think, personally, that the Conservative Party and a lot of the people who used to vote Conservative are feeling that the Conservative Party does not represent them anymore. And they want a strong leader who is going to take bold positions on very important issues. And I think that is to the right.
OK, Tobias, it's quite a strong case for Sunak lurching to the right there.
No, I don't agree with that at all. I mean, let's put our hands up. It's been a difficult local elections for the Conservatives, but we've had a 20% turnout in some areas, which has been very, very low. Indeed, a general election, you have turnout closer to 70%. So we've got a lot of people staying at home. Where would those additional voters go? And I think the point has actually been made quite illustratively that Britain, there is a sweet spot of the electorate in the middle of ground. If you secure that, you win general elections. And I think, just stepping back from the actual politics of it, we've had a turbulent period, no doubt about that. But we've actually now moved into far calmer waters. Fiscal responsibility has returned. We've seen interest rates, improve. We've seen also the cost of living crisis being tackled and inflation coming down. We're moving the right way. Okay. The reason why we're not galvanizing is because an absence of discipline within our own rank. And if we show a collective appetite and discipline to win, we'll win the next election. If we have, I'm afraid, ill discipline,
I'll come back to you, Tobias. I want to let Catherine back in. All right, so go on, Catherine. You're shaking your head there.
Yeah, because I actually don't agree. I think the fact that so few people actually came and voted means that they're totally disillusioned. And all the things that you said that we have succeeded in, that should have actually brought our supporters to go and vote for us. I see it exactly the opposite way. I see it that the world has changed. It's much more polarized. And what the British public wants is a government that actually takes action, takes a strong position. We have wars around us. We want somebody like Winston Churchill. We want somebody who actually dares to say the way it is. And we can't continue on this wishy-washy, even though I think Rishi has had a lot of successes on the economy, on a lot of the things that you've highlighted. But the people are feeling they don't belong to this party anymore.
Okay.
And that's why.
Tobias, I mean, there is quite a lot of evidence to back that up with the way that the Reform vote is going. I know that the turnouts have been low, but the national polls, I mean, the latest one I saw from YouGov had Reform at 15 and the Tories at 18%. And could I ask, when you said about ill-disciplining your party, do you really mean that the right of the party, in your view, need to wind their neck in a bit?
I'm not going to use that language. I don't think that's even helpful. I'm simply saying that united parties appeal to the electorate. Disunited parties do not. And I'll just stress again, whatever's going on in America, over here, the sweet spot for winning for a long electoral success has always been dominating the centre-right ground. Tony Blair discovered this. He looked like a Tory, and you get people like John Prescott close to him, but he got across the line. When you go to the extremes, like Jeremy Corbyn did, then you miss out the middle ground. And mentioning Churchill, of all people, Disraeli, Baldwin, Macmillan, Thatcher too, all went for the middle ground. When you pander to your base alone, like Andrew Bonar-Law, for example, you quickly are forgotten. And make it really clear that Rishi Sunak is navigating us back to that important space. And the reason why Labour, just let me finish this point. Yep. The reason why Labour is doing well in the polls is because they're commanding that middle ground, the floating voter. We're not going to win simply by schmoozing to the right wing, or indeed trying to out-reform reform. That's not the strategic way to win the next general election. Discipline, discipline,
okay.
Discipline. That's what we require from our ranks, and we will see the polls move.
Okay,
but you see the discipline one side, I see the discipline the other side. And the point is that the Labour Party is moving to the centre, or at least pretending to move to the centre, because I don't believe
and look
that
where they are in the polls.
Okay.
We need to look to be different, and we need to represent what the true conservatives believe. Believe in our country. I think that a prime minister, which Rishi did say it several times, but I think it needs to be said many times, to be proud of our country, to be proud of being British, not constantly apologising, is what the British people
Can I ask you, Catherine, just quickly on this then? What specifically is it then? What policy specifically are you talking about that you think would win Rishi the next election then?
Well, I think one of the ones that I was very involved in was all this transgender ideology. I mean, that was, in my opinion, and I and several MPs and peers went to talk to Rishi about it. I think that was a winner for us, because what is happening is incredible. I mean, children are being told that they can change their gender. I mean, it's insanity. It's criminal. Right. So those are type of examples. And then the other thing is what I really resent, and I, as you can hear, have a foreign accent, but a British passport. I became British because I love this country, and I find it terrible that these days we can't be proud of being British. And if I put an English flag behind me, I would be called extreme right wing. I'm not. I'm proud of belonging to this country. We need to get this.
All right. Okay, Tobias, could I just ask you, and we're going to be a little bit quick with this, but is Sunak trapped in the worst of both worlds situation here now, where, dare I say, it has lost a lot of the centre ground and he's lost the right ground as well, really? Is that where he is?
I really push back on everything I've just heard there. Okay. You know, we have a passionate Conservative Party that's navigated the country through a very, very difficult time. This would have been a testing period for any government the last 10 years because of COVID, because of Ukraine, and now the Middle East as well. And yes, there's been some turbulence that we've homegrown as well because of what happened with Boris Johnson and indeed Liz Truss. But look where we are today. We are in calmer waters from a fiscal perspective, which is what really concerns the British voter. You know, all these other discussions are really quite micro into whether or not our economy is moving in the right direction.
You've just lost 433 council seats.
Please let me finish. That is what actually people go into the voting booth and say, will Britain be better off? Will we be more secure under which government? And that is where Rishi Sunak is taking us. If we fall badly at the next election, it will be because of the problems within, because we're not demonstrating discipline, rallying around our leader and showing a determination and spirit to say we want to remain in number 10 because we're arguing amongst ourselves.
Okay, look, both of you, I'm sorry, we could obviously just carry on with this for another hour or so, but we'll have to pick it up. Well, it's going to happen anyway, isn't it?
Can I congratulate Dan? I could be his grandmother, and I think it's wonderful that a young man is sort of getting in there and fighting for the Conservatives. I just wanted to say that.
All right, I'm sure Tobias will echo that view as well. Both of you, thank you very much.